Sup, bitches? Welcome to the Sassy Spiritual Bs podcast.
I always love this part. I'm like, maybe I should do the intro. And I'm like, no, I want to hear how Randy can sing it to the folks today.
I was like, this is me in my head. I'm not going to sing it this time. Sassy. So, well, clearly that's not the case here.
Oh, Lord, oh, Lord.
Welcome, bitches.
What's up, what's up?
Little ASMR for you. You like that ice?
Yeah. We're a little tired. I was coming down here to record and I was like, I need to get coffee. Like, I can't make it. Ever since the Lionsgate,
The portal?
I have been straight fucked.
Right? So have I. Okay, so I have a gripe about the portal.
Okay, I'm ready.
I was like, you know, it opens your heart chakra. It brings in abundance. It brings in manifestation. Fuck that shit. I mean, I'm sure it does in the long run, but it was like just a fucking shit show.
Mm-hmm.
And it brings in grief and crying and fucking, I don't know, tests and like, what the fuck?
Yes. So when I was like, when you like get the imagery of the Lionsgate portal, you're like, ooh, the warmth of the sun and like power like a lion. And there's like little twinkly and sparkly things. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. And I always just think of Cher ever since we talked about her last. I was like, fucking Cher vibes. But then, surprise, surprise, like exhausted. That energy was intense. And then, yeah, like tests galore.
Mm-hmm.
Boundary, financial, manifestation, standing in your power, like over it.
I was like, this is not what I was expecting.
At all.
Like, I thought I was going to feel so awesome. You know, and like I was starting to finally like feel the Leo energy. Remember last time we talked? Well, no, that fucking did a nosedive again. I'm not feeling any sort of fucking Leo energy to save my life.
No, I'm just tired. I want to wear pajamas every day.
I'm just like, since when am I a Pisces? Like, that's what, like, that's what it feels like to me. Oh, like, fuck.
Okay, but let's be real, you guys. The reason you're getting tested is because time's up.
Mm-hmm.
Shit be hitting the fan soon, yo.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know what the shit is, but we know it's shit. So you gotta hold your boundaries and get your fucking shit together. Pass your tests, damn it.
Well, and okay, so
last chance to dance.
Last chance to dance. Fuck. But honestly, though,
seriously,
like, not to sound all like doom and gloom and the world's ending, but
it's not. I'm excited as fuck.
Me too. But like, oh my god, that song just—it's the end of the world as we know it.
Yes,
I feel fine. Well, yeah, kind of. Here's like, shit's coming. Okay, shit's coming. We don't really know exactly what. Although I was getting some indications in somebody's session, so that's I'm clearly not going to share because that's not
right. But
holy fuck, if a quarter of what I saw is true, like, hold on to your hats, kids.
Yeah, and just I mean, I think we're like let's not talk about that today, but here we go. We're talking about it anyway.
Yeah, we were like, let's keep it light. Oh well, or not.
I guess Spirit has a different bone to pick with the podcast today, but if I could, it's not even, I can't summarize what's going to happen because it's beyond our concept of reality. Yeah. Like, it's going to be the craziest shit ever. But like, it's dark and light. Like, It's actually, I would say, mainly good. There's so much good coming from it, but because the world is composed of light and dark energies, well, the dark ain't just going to lay down and let it happen. They're going to fight back.
No, it's going to ramp up super hard.
But when you think about it ramping up and like feeling heavy and fear-based, it is because the dark energies on this planet are threatened as fuck and they're pulling out their last guns. So when you see it come, just be like, oh, the light's really fucking shit up because these guys are getting desperate as hell. It's a good thing.
It is, but be ready. Be ready to be triggered. Be ready to be attacked. Like, it's already kind of starting, really. But like, I mean, attacked by like your close family, your loved ones, your friends. I mean, things are going to come at you in ways that you won't even, you're going to be like, where does this come from? Like, what's happening? You know?
Yeah.
But that's okay, because this is why you're here. We're preparing you for this.
Yes.
You're going to be triggered as fuck, right? The ego is going to kick in hardcore because they're really going to push that fear-based reality, really.
And the people that are susceptible to fear in your friendship circle or your family are going to like think you're fucking insane for still resisting it.
Yeah. And not buying into that. Right?
And I feel like when you said that, the image of Cher came back in my mind for a second. And it's like, Cher, don't fucking care what anyone's got to say to her. She's always
new merch coming soon. Cher don't care.
Yeah. I love it. But like, she has always been a rebel. She's always stood her ground. She's always done things that are different. And look at her now, like, amazing. So It's like, you got to just hold you don't do whatever you want. We're not going to tell you what to do. We're just telling you what's coming. Like, do whatever you want. But
it's just, here's the thing. If we thought fear was bad for the last year and a half, we ain't seen nothing yet.
Mm-mm.
That's the problem. Because fear sells. Fear is a great coercion tactic. And at first, it's going to come in very subtle ways where you're almost going to feel like, well, okay, sure. Like, I can live with that, blah, blah, blah. Just remember, anytime little fear things slip into that, like, oh, I don't want to be able to, or I don't want to not be able to do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to cave on this one. If you cave on the little things, you've already lost the big things.
Yeah.
So it's going to be sneaky. It's going to be underhanded. And then it's going to grow from there. And it's going to get crazy, out of hand, unimaginable. But here's the thing. You're way stronger than that. Because say it with me, kids. What is fear? False evidence appearing real.
And
right?
It's because there's literally nothing to fear. Like, you are gifted with free will. Mm-hmm. You can do whatever the fuck you want here, and you ain't ever going to get in trouble with karma. I have seen it.
And you don't owe anybody anything.
No.
I think that's my biggest, in the last 2 to 3 years, I would say. That's been the biggest, hardest lesson for me to learn is you do not owe anyone anything.
Yeah.
Not your family, not your friends, not society, not your neighbor. You owe nothing to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
The only person that you owe anything to is yourself.
Yes.
And that's a hard lesson to learn because that is completely opposite of our conditioning.
Oh my God, yeah. I act like I learned that lesson, but I still suck at it real bad. So, yikes.
And I mean, it's very hard. And sometimes it's like, and sometimes it's like, I feel bad, but I'm like, sometimes I just don't have a valid excuse other than I don't want to, so I'm not going to.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's hard, especially when it's like, oh, well, families, doing this or getting together to do this. And can you help? And it's like your soul's screaming, no, but you do it out of obligation.
Oh my God, that has been.
But again, that's a test. That is a test.
That I'm failing. Well, okay, so what's happening to me? I have 2 things to say. We have to backtrack though on one of them. But
I got ahead of myself, sorry.
No, the first thing to say about like obligation, it's like, I don't know. I actually have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I've spent a lot of time with my family this summer, and typically I don't really like that. So in my head, when the plan is coming up, my soul is like fucking screaming and is like, don't do it, this is going to be so bad. And then I show up and I'm like, hey, that wasn't that bad. That was actually kind of enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how, like, this is my problem right now. I'm in overthinking mode. Like, I can't fucking tell what's left and right now. I'm just like all fucked up.
So was it really your soul screaming or was it your ego?
My ego, yeah. guy's such a dick. I feel like my ego's in male. Like, I'm just like, the fucking guy's a dick.
Yeah. But it's a tricky thing, right? That's what we would call a typical example of an ego trap. And we could dive into that way further.
How do you shut that down? Like, you have to probably get out of your head and like your heart space a bit more. Like, what the fuck?
You have to, and this is one of the first things I tell my clients. The trick to anything, the game changer, is presence. So you got to be present to every moment.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Then you grow into like a meta presence where you're present to, it's like your higher self is present to you being present.
Right. Okay, I could see that, because I get, when I'm thinking about these, I'm like thinking into the future of what all is going to go wrong. And then I'm like, I don't want to be a part of this. And then I'm like, you're just in the moment and you're like, oh yeah, let's do it.
Well, did you see what you did there?
No.
I'm looking into the future at all the things that are going to go wrong.
Yes. That's what I mean. Like, not being present.
And that's like talking in absolutes.
Well, yeah, that's how I feel it's going to go, because historically, that's usually how it does.
Well,
but then this summer hasn't been that bad.
Did it? Remember, your memories are skewed by your...
Okay, not every one of them, but the last 2 years has been straight shit.
Mm-hmm.
I can say that wholeheartedly.
Yes, but what part, and again, this is the second part, ladies and gentlemen, is taking responsibility for your part in it.
Oh yeah, I can see very clearly what happened. I was being what my family expected me to be, and then I fucking hated being there because I had to be someone different.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually I would snap.
Except you didn't have to be someone different.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, I see how I've made a mess of this.
Yeah.
But it's like, I can't hear my inner voice right now when it comes to like what I should or shouldn't be doing. Not even should or shouldn't. I can't even tell what I want to do. Like, what do I want right now? I'm like, I don't really want to stay home. I don't really want to go. I don't really want anything. You're like, what the fuck? Like, what's the, like, I'm just like lost right now when it comes to like those little things.
But why do you have to have anything?
Well, you have to be somewhere.
Says who?
How can you go nowhere?
Why can't you just be?
I know, what the fuck? See, this is the problem. Why can't you just be?
Why do you always have to be either looking behind or ahead?
Why can't you just, when people invite you to do things?
No, but I mean, why can't you just sit in the moment and be like, I kind of feel like doing something, I kind of don't. I'll just sit here and decide. And then it just be.
Okay, that's what I've done in a lot of scenarios, but not with my mom. God damn it. Anyway, I digress. I'll figure this out. We'll figure it out.
Welcome to Kayla's coaching session today.
God. Oh, I'm so tired of existing.
It's just, you know what? It's a very tiring time.
It is.
I don't know how many times this week I've said, I'm over being here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like there's anything bad going on.
Yeah, exactly.
For the most part, I've had very enjoyable weeks. But I'm just like, I'm over it. I'm just over it. I'm just over it.
Yep. I just let out a sigh. That's how I feel. It's just like, oh, for the love of God. And we're just ramping up. We're just fucking ramping up. But speaking of that, the thing I wanted to say earlier was, on a lighter note, like, first of all, remember the collective of humanity is the person, they're the ones being targeted really through this fear tactic.
Yes.
If you have done what you needed to do and like become aware and put the work in, you should be able to, again, like hover above it and just look down and be like, what the fuck is happening down there? And it shouldn't really affect you if you don't buy into the storylines and the fear. And then secondly, you are here for this.
Yeah.
You incarnated for this galactically historical event.
I was thinking about that this morning. I was sitting there and I was like, what a fucking cool time to be alive.
Yes.
Like, fuck,
And while you're in it, you're probably going to be like, holy shit, why did I do this? But later you're going to be like, yes, that was the coolest experience to add to my Akashic record or to add to my knowledge base.
Yeah.
Like, it's all on purpose, and know that you did sign up for this.
Totally.
Exactly this moment. So get excited.
These tests, a little bit, but it's just kind of like,
So like, if it feels, so every once in a while, I'll like check into this viewpoint. When you're living in it, it's scary, it's heavy, but when you like zoom out, you're like, this is an interesting movie that I signed up to be a role in. And you're like in a movie and you're the star of your show, and you like forgot that it was just a role or just something that you signed up for to experience. Just zoom out. It's just a storyline that you really wanted to be a part of. And it's like, nobody wants to be a part of the boring movies, no offense. Like, we want to have the bangers. And it's like, you got cast in this play. And like, some people didn't make it. There were people that were like, I want to go to Earth for this showdown. And they're like, no.
Pass.
And then some people are not going to make it in the middle of the show.
No.
They're like, oh, fuck, I need to exit stage left here. I can't do it.
Well, I gave it my best.
Yeah, I better leave before things get real crazy. And there'll be people that die. But again, they're willingly dying because they don't want to go on next step of the show. Like, just let them go. God, like, they actually go home. It's not that bad.
No. Oh, man. Weird. Just, oh my God. The sessions I've had lately, I just... mind-blowing. Like, I don't even know how else to put it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I mean, damn, And like, people are going away feeling super good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, they're going away feeling lighter and shit. And I'm like, what just happened?
And you feel heavier.
Like, well, not even heavier. I'm just kind of like shell-shocked. Like, like when you see things, it's like, what the fuck did I just watch? It was kind of like that.
Yeah.
And it seems very, like, to be ramping up them, like, more and more and more. Like, since just before the portal to now, it's been like, because doesn't the portal close today? The 12th?
I don't remember. Yeah.
We're recording this on the 12th, but I think so. So I'm curious to see going forward. I don't think the portal really has anything to do with it. I think they're just going to keep getting stronger and stronger.
Oh my God.
Which is a great time to mention our giveaway.
Oh yeah.
Yay! We're having a giveaway.
Yes. So we hit our 222nd follower on Instagram.
Whoop, whoop.
Woo! And Randy and I were both born at 2:22 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt like the perfect time to do a giveaway.
Absolutely.
And like, obviously, it's to drive up our following.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. So please like and share our post, follow our shit, tag people in it.
Share our podcast with your friends. Tell everybody about it.
Yes. And then I'm giving away, this is actually, it'll be good for people to hear this because it's like a new thing. So right now, as we're like ramping up to all this big stuff and lots of the people that are listening here and like the volunteers to assist while everything's hitting the fan, which is probably every single one of you, we've kind of, I've tapped into this new area of the Akashic Records that's, if you don't already know your starseed origins, like the planet or the galaxy or whatever, we can look into that. But then also now we can look into like, what is your role? Like, what area are you working in? What, how do you protect your energy? Where do you need to be like grounding in and things like that? And it's really cool. And again, it's just information that's in your Akashic record about what you were planning to do, but every single time you're in control of your destiny. It's just really cool information to be like, fuck yeah. Because no matter what, it's really fascinating. You're like, I'm in control of my destiny and I'm self-made, and you are self-made, but the stuff that you've like pre-uploaded into your Akashic record somehow just always magically manifests, and you're like, good. Like for me, I'm like, thank fuck I put that in there. I'd be just lost. But it's so cool.
Yours is so like, I don't even know what the right word. Me and my words today. Fuck me. But it's like, yours is so accurate. And I'm just kind of like, oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how does it know me? So how does it
I feel
know
like
me
you need
that?
little librarian glasses, and like I'm picturing one of those, you know, like the 50s kind of like cat eye glasses with the little beaded,
yes,
little pointy things on the end.
You know, that's so funny. I had a different like medium though. I feel like you're like the librarian of the Akashic Records. I was like, I will take that. And then one time I was in hypnosis and I had come to the Hall of Records and my hypnotherapist was like, do you want to go in there and research stuff? And I was like, nah, like I really don't want to go into the Hall of Records right now. And then after the hypnosis session, she's like, I feel like that was going to be really exciting, but clearly you know it really well. So you're not like, that's just the fucking library I'm always in. And that's how it felt. I was like, oh, I don't want to do work right now. And I was like, I don't want to go in there.
Oh, that's so funny. I love it.
Yeah, it's like, I know that place too good, but that's cool. Yeah, and actually one of the things in my imprint or whatever, like the starseed, like whatever I'm fucking doing here as a light worker, was like, I was like a gatekeeper for like acting proper in liminal space, whatever the fuck liminal space is.
Ooh.
I was like, oh, I was a gate. Like, no wonder why I'm such a tough critic around here. You're not acting correct. I'm not acting correct. No one's acting correct.
This is unacceptable. This is an outrage.
No.
Get your shit together.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck, I was a librarian.
Totally.
Everyone shut up!
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Anyway, check it out. It's something new. And even if you've done, like, I don't think there's very many people that have ever done that with me. But if you've done that, obviously we're not going to redo that. It'll be new info. So check it out.
Sweet. And you will be getting a distance crystal Reiki session from me. So basically, I get your name, your date of birth. If you want to give me a picture, great. I don't need it, but hey, whatever. And then I dive in and, do we deep dive?
Yeah, your sessions are so cool.
We clear shit out. Sometimes your messages, like I get channeled messages from guides, guardians, ancestors, or angels. You know, like everybody's different.
Yeah.
It's always very interesting when I end up working like on another light worker because weird shit comes in. Like,
especially now.
It's bizarre.
Super bizarre. So it's very timely. And we're making the draw on the 22nd.
Yes.
Which is the full moon. And it's 22 theme here.
2-2. Haha.
So you have a bit of time to enter the draw. But do it because it's the perfect time to learn these things about yourself, because I think regardless of where you're at in your practice right now, like, are you part-time? Are you, just learning? Are you just figuring out? I don't think it really fucking matters. When this shit hits the fan, you're going to be busy in some capacity. It could be working. It could be with your friends, family, coworkers.
It could be just learning all you can, getting your downloads and shit that's coming in, and, dealing with your own stuff. Like, you're going to be busy.
Yep. So might as well get as much shit realigned and integrated as you can.
And get yourself open for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Me too. So check it out. Tell your friends.
Yes. Listen to our podcast. Share our podcast. Be our friend. Join us on Patreon. We have some fun stuff over there.
Yes.
I think we're planning a Zoom meetup for somewhere near the end of the month-ish.
Yes. Let's do it.
Yeah. So, yeah. We're going to have a fun little, Q&A session, just a visit sesh over there.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
You do have time to join Patreon to get in on that too. So now that we're done plugging shamelessly our stuff,
exactly.
We can actually move on.
Oh, yes.
All right. So we have to remember, ladies and gents, and people of all walks of life, that we need to ground. And particularly in this particular time of, the first word that came to my mind was misfortune, but that's not what in this tumultuous time.
Hey, that's the word.
Tumultuous. It's important to ground. So I know it's getting a bit cooler. It's like somebody's flipped a switch now. I can feel fall coming in, at least where we live. But get outside. Nature is a big I don't even know what the right word is. Help me, Kayla.
Healer, a big like, well, the vision that's coming to my mind when you're saying that is like, you don't have to participate in anything coming down the pipeline if you just fucking disconnect from media.
Yes.
So connect to something that's healing and grounding. Like go outside, spend time with your like outdoors with your family. Just turn the fucking TV off. Get off social media for a while.
Yeah.
You will miss every single thing that happens if you just shut her down.
Totally.
Like you won't even buy into the fear-based thing. Like, I mean, there might be some things that happen in your peripherals, but just don't participate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's honestly like it'll never happen.
No. This whole past 18 months, I've been like, it's like I'm floating on a cloud watching everybody else freak out. And I'm like, what is your problem?
Because I'm not participating.
Yeah. I refuse.
And if we think about things like the terms of manifesting, and like you have to think of it from like a physics standpoint, that everything is energy and everything is just energy conglomerated in a specific organizational fashion. So it looks like you're in a house. So it looks like this is a table. And we learned this in grade 5, people. This isn't spiritual based. This is real life. We know things look the way they are because of how energy is like
science, bitch.
Yeah, is stuck together. So when you're manifesting, you're just altering the energy in your path to shape the world that you look at. It's a fucking joke. Do not focus in on the negative stuff because it won't appear in your vision. So go outside, do things to ground, follow your happiness, make decisions based out of that. Like, I mean, who might give advice on making choices right now? I just articulated how I'm so confused, but like, do what you want.
Yeah, but here's the thing, being in nature, or at least for me, and okay, let's be 100% honest. I'm not a nature girl.
I love nature.
I don't like bugs. I don't like getting dirty. I don't like, I don't love outside, to like be outside, if that makes sense. But I like to sit outside and listen to the trees. I like the sounds of the birds. I like the feel of the wind, right? So while I'm not, and I like swimming, but I hate fish. So it's like it's a catch-22 there. But so we're not saying like, oh my God, go climb a tree, blah, blah, blah. Like that's not it. You can sit outside on your little stoop and have a cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. And have the same effect as somebody who really loves to go for a deep walk in nature.
Yeah.
It's all about how you let it connect.
Exactly. And it's like taking more, I feel like summer's been really yang and outgoing and wanting to connect and go and move. Well, part of, for being outside for me, it's like that's probably the only time where I'm like present is like when I'm outside and I'm like, oh my God, the trees. And like, it's just the only time where I'm like, I love this. I'm here for this. I'm here right now. And I always think about when I'm talking to you guys, I do a little walk like you just about every day. And
you have to show me where that is.
Yes. If you talk to me before I go on the walk, I'm like a little spaz. And then if I'm on the walk, I'm like, life is so beautiful. I'm so happy. I'm the best I've ever been. And then as soon as I start driving back into the city, I'm like, fuck. And it's like, it's just healing. Like you can't argue with that. Like it just grounds you. It's healing. Like you don't have to go on the walk. Just get into your own little world. This like, it was yang, go, outgoing, all these things. And then now we need to be a little bit more like internal, I think, and like listening to our inner compass, standing in our inner power.
It's a time, how am I going to put this? It's a time for observation.
Yes.
And we're not just talking like inner observation. We've talked about this a lot, but it's like, we're turning that eye from inward, outward. Not that we're not looking within. That's not it. It's almost like, okay, we know what we're looking for here and we're going to look outward, not saying anything.
Yeah.
Not engaging, But this is a time to watch.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's like when what am I trying to explain?
What
like,
is my hands doing? Like, what was I doing?
You're putting like an eye on top of your heart.
Oh,
that's what I feel. There's like an eye.
What is happening here?
An eye on top of the heart. So it's like, I don't want to say like inner reflection, and like it's true. You do have to be like watching, I guess, or having your eye on things, conscious, but not watching the media. That's not what I'm talking about. We're watching like people. And then if you've spent enough time doing the introspection and the work that you have been doing and all the shadow and all the healing, you should be able to stand in your sovereignty. When someone comes out and you're like, you got to do this. And what do you mean you haven't read the news? You need to be like, I just don't need to. Like, you need to be like not susceptible though to what you're seeing outside of yourself.
Yeah. And you have to, okay. I'll tell you, I'm going to try and put into words what they're showing me here. God, they're so frustrating sometimes. But
it's been hard to articulate the visions lately. Hey?
Yes.
I'm like, what the fuck am I seeing?
You have to watch other people right now. I'm hearing the words, watch the normies.
And then they're just like assessing, are they making decisions out of love or fear?
Yeah.
Because if it's a fear-based decision or a fear-based monologue or a fear-based story, it's not correct.
No, not at all.
If you have to, yeah.
That's what we're observing.
Yes.
If something feels, it's not even the right word. I don't even know if that's the right word. If something feels wrong or looks wrong, you're gonna know it. But here's the slip up. This is where the ego comes in and fucks us up a little bit. This is why we're watching other people. Because what we know are truth. However, particularly people who are very close to us, if they're in that space of fear and there's enough of them, it's very easy to start believing them and kind of bring it in and internalize it.
Yeah.
But if you're watching from an unbiased perspective, as best we can, I guess would be the best word. If you're watching them like you're watching just the outside world, like noise, things just happen. And if you can get to the point where you can observe the outside world, close to you or not, right, as just extras in a movie, it's not going to matter. It's almost like a disconnect. It's almost like you tune them out a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it's that frequency change, right? But you're the only one who can do that is you. And you do it by watching. Because you're going to be able to see, like they're showing me like two, like when you go to the optometrist and there's like the two lines of letters and then they come into one.
Yeah.
That's what they're showing me here. You're going to see the outside world and you're going to see your world and they're going to be separate. But you're going to have to just blur the lines ever so much where you come together, but you're in the world, but in your own way. Does that make sense? I don't know.
I think it does. Okay. Yeah.
I'm having a very hard time articulating.
Well, I don't know exactly what you mean, but when you talk about the frequency changes, so probably most of you listening are kind of in a more like fifth dimensional frequency. You're vibrating higher. So when we think about vibration, we always see it as like, well, 3D is down below and then there's 4D and then there's 5D up above. It's not like that. They're superimposed on top of each other. So it's kind of like a frequency thing. So if you even think of like blurry, like static on TV, and then suddenly there's kind of like an image in there, So it's like you can click in and click out. So there you can see the third dimensional world, but you're not like of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's of it. That's the right word.
So you just like keep yourself in your lane, and what happens in 3D doesn't matter, even though you can bear witness to it if you want to.
Oh, and here's another thing that's going to happen, or at least I've noticed it happening frequently, and people I've been working on, it's been happening frequently, whether they realize it or not. We're flipping in and out.
Oh, yeah.
Holy Christ, is there a lot of dimension flipping going on? So be aware of that. If you ever have moments where you're like, what the fuck? Where was I right now? Like, it's almost like you space out.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're let's say you're driving around and your neighborhood looks the same, but it doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't feel the same. Those little moments are happening more and more and more and more.
Yeah. Flipping in and out of dimensions is for sure.
And pay attention to who you're thinking about. This just is coming in. Who are you thinking about? Because you're gonna blip out of people's lives too.
Yes, that's definitely going to happen.
Like my husband said to me the other day, he's like, it's like people don't think of us anymore. He's like, do you feel that sometimes? It's like we don't exist for them. And I hadn't thought of it. You know, when you think about it, you're like, oh yeah, I can kind of see that. But then it's like, because yeah, we literally blip. We don't exist in that timeline anymore.
Exactly. So and like it gets like complicated, but if let's say you have friends that are going to stay in the third dimensional frequency and you're going to continue to bump up and up and up, you guys are going to just gently exit out of each other's world. And you'll be like, yeah, I haven't seen them in a long time and I haven't thought about them in a long time either. It's because you guys have shifted trajectories completely. Yeah. And the gap's only going to get wider and wider and wider. So there's no sense hanging on to things that don't fill up your cup. Let's just be honest with that. If it's like you almost forgot that you even missed them, just let it go.
But that's what I think is happening more and more. It's like people, places, things, right, that you were once really attached to, you might find you're just not, like, they just don't come into your head anymore.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
They just kind of disappear.
It's going to be weird.
It's going to be weird.
Or it is weird. It's already happening.
Yeah.
It's a weird time.
Yeah. Okay, you guys, pay attention now. For lack of a better word, I guess, leadership. Mm-hmm. We've talked about this a lot in past podcasts, but for whatever fucking reason, we had to bring it up again. Thanks, Spirit. But you have to realize that you are going to be looked at differently very soon. And in like a leadership way, and I mean, it comes with responsibility, yes. And not everyone is going to like what you have to say.
Yeah, they're showing me like, as you're saying that, they're showing me like coming out of the shadows. We're like doing our spiritual work in the shadows and we're being ourselves in the shadows. And then suddenly you're like throttled up to like front and center stage. But there's two different opinions of you. There's people needing your help and assistance and guidance. And then there's people throwing trash at you because they think you're insane.
But here's the message, guys. When it comes to this, yeah, I mean, help who you can. But if there are people looking to you for answers, remembering what we talked about earlier in this episode, you don't owe anybody anything. Mm-hmm. Do not get overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. You do not have to save everybody. That's their job. Okay? There's a difference between being a leader and being a savior.
Yes.
All right? And those lines very quite often get blurred. You are no one's savior. They are themselves their own savior.
And as we also said earlier, like everyone has free will. Everyone is in their power. No one can do anything or take anything from you. So it's like everybody had a choice. You chose to do the work earlier and you're prepared for this. Then there'll be other people that are like, what the fuck is going on? And
how come you're okay?
Yes. And they're going to come to you and wonder what you know and how you know it. They had the same choice to awaken earlier and figure this out earlier. So you do not owe them anything if you don't want to. What you are doing by being the person that made it out as a frontier, when shit hits the fan and the world is very chaotic, you hold the frequency of calm.
Yes.
And you just And then eventually more and more people become calm. And then suddenly that's what wins out. Or at least the two worlds of chaos and calm divide far enough that they're not touching each other.
Now there will be, this is coming in for whatever reason, you may find that there will be people who flip in and try and overtake, is that the right word? Or subvert your authority, maybe. Not that you asked for this authority, but there will be people who try and come in and like take over, for lack of a better word. Let it happen. I know that sounds very weird, but it doesn't matter because you're holding that frequency of calm. There might be somebody who's, you know, I'm sure there's lots of people who are more charismatic than me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who like people are just drawn to because whatever. It's going to become very clear very soon who's a trustworthy source and who isn't. Okay? Be, what's the right word? Not assertive. That's not the word I'm trying to say. Own your shit. So, I mean, I guess in a way, be assertive.
Mm-hmm.
But don't buy into the drama.
Right.
Because the longer you hold that stability, people are going to come back. Okay? So just keep swimming, right? Stay solid, stay grounded. Again, there's that tree reference. Your roots go deep. Others might come and go, but your roots are in.
So when the storm brews,
who's going to get thrown around and who's going to stay put?
Yes.
Okay. So we might find ourselves, especially if you're getting a lot of people come to you, and then they all kind of like get pulled away. Don't stress. Your message is clear. You are strong. You are stable, and you are authoritative. That's all you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
So rest up. Rest up right now. Because there's a storm coming. And I don't mean that like, ooh, it's stormy outside. I mean like there's a shit storm of a fucking good 8 months coming. You know, and it's tiring.
It is.
So have fun. Have fun. Rest up. And do you.
Yeah, I was going to say stay in your lane and fuck other people.
Fuck expectation.
Yes.
Fuck obligation.
Yes.
That is a man-made construct that, again, does not exist.
Exactly.
That's a fear-based thing. If you don't do this, this might happen.
I know. And I'm just going to say this, and hopefully we don't get censored, but I remember, like, even with the recent, like, everyone's, oh my God, we got to take a jab because otherwise we don't get to go to public events. And I was like, that's a rumor right now. And we live in Saskatchewan, and there was a football game. Didn't give a fuck. You could go no matter if you had the jab or you didn't have the jab. Don't listen to people's theories on what will happen if you don't give in, because so far, almost none of it has actually manifested in my reality. I hear about it in the background, but it doesn't exist in it's not real.
Mm-mm.
Don't do it. Not even don't do it. Just listen to yourself.
You do you. Do it for the right reason.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all. Follow your inner compass.
Exactly.
If somebody tells you to do something and your immediate response is, but I want to do that. I better do it because I don't want to not be able to do that. That's an incorrect response.
Yes. Are you making your decisions out of fear or love?
Exactly. That's all you need to do. It's either fear or love. There is nothing else.
There's nothing else.
There's no in between. It's either you're doing it out of fear because you had that, or you do it out of love because that is what your soul says yes to.
And you see how one is calm and one is chaos.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter the choice.
Exactly.
It matters the reason for the choice.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Because in the Akashic records with karma, your choices will always produce a karmic consequence.
Mm-hmm.
If you make decisions out of chaos, you're just manifesting and creating more chaotic responses from karma, and your life will continuously get more chaotic. If you make a decision out of calm, you've manifested and created a consequence that's calming.
Yes.
So you see why there are people shitting their pants out there. They keep making decisions out of fear and chaos and fear and chaos. And then lo and behold, there's consistently more fear and chaos in their life. And then people that just like, fuck it, who cares?
I'm going to do me.
They're doing fine. They're the people floating above. They're like, oh yeah, I didn't even realize what's going on.
You're talking about the football game. I'm like, we had a football game?
Yes, there was one. My sister told me she lives in Regina, so there's so many people in town right now. It's crazy.
And I'm just like,
and it's sold out.
I'm like, I had no idea.
Yeah, and they didn't care.
Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't matter, and it's not going to, as long as you don't manifest that result.
Oh yeah, you guys, this is such a, again, cool time to be alive because we are creating the timeline.
Yeah. And time doesn't exist either. So it's like, there's you standing here, and there's like these different streams.
Yep.
And you don't know that they exist simultaneously. When you choose a streamline or a timeline, that's the one you exist on. But you can exist in the world that's chaotic and crumbling. You can live on that timeline, or you can live somewhere in the middle there, or you can live on peace and euphoria. The choice is yours.
Literally. You have the power.
Which timeline do you want to be on?
Totally.
There's a version of me somewhere that is a hot mess out there. There's a version of me out there somewhere that's doing awesome. I want to be on the most optimal timeline. I don't want to be any of these lesser versions of me. So I'm trying to make my most optimal choices.
Yeah.
Stay on the timeline that you want to live on.
And just follow your heart. I know that's such a cheesy cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason.
Exactly.
Follow your heart, not your head. Not what you're told, but we're conditioned to do what you're told. Fuck that.
Sovereignty, free will.
Like
it's all you, baby.
You get the choice. You are you.
Your incarnation. It's not you don't live in your mom's incarnation or your children's or your community's. You live in your body, in your incarnation, in your roadmap to success. You live in your choices and your consequences and your karma. Why the fuck are you listening to anyone else?
There is no one to listen to.
You are the only one that's like you. You're the only one that knows what you know. Just tune it out.
Easier said than done, I know, but that takes practice. But so practice.
Exactly.
Say these words with me. No, thank you. I don't want to.
No, thank you. I don't want to.
And there's nothing wrong with that sentence.
Exactly.
But most people go to say that and get anxiety.
Yeah. And when I first started having to argue about some of my viewpoints, like earlier on in the year, I was nervous about it, but you know what? At a certain point, when I stopped making choices out of fear and trying to explain myself out of fear, I stopped manifesting more examples like that. Now I'm riding the calm train and no one even fucks with me. These conversations don't even come up anymore because I've chosen a timeline where they don't exist. Just don't even give those arguments or having to explain yourself life. Don't even think about it. It won't trickle into your life as often as you'd expect if you just shut it down in your thought process right now.
Yeah.
What you think about is legitimately sometimes what you bring about, and especially what you act on. Making choices out of fear, you're going to generate more situations that are going to be fear-based where you're going to have to keep perpetuating that cycle. Just shut it down, even in your mind.
That's just it. It's the mind.
Yeah.
Because who's talking?
Your ego.
It's either your ego or your soul.
Mm-hmm.
It's very simple. It's not complicated, but as humans, we like to make it complicated.
Oh, fucking right.
Well, those messages were direct.
Yeah, they have been.
They have been very direct.
Very direct.
And honestly, you guys, this was not on the agenda today. This is not what we were going to talk about.
We literally said before we started this, let's not talk about the storm because I just don't feel like it. But
like, we got a shit show coming. Like, let's keep it light.
That's what we said.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Spirit's like, don't think so.
Yeah. Fuck you. The horse you came in on.
This needs to get out. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Time's up. Time's up. Time's up. That keeps coming up too as a message in so many different things.
Yeah.
Time's up. Time's up. Weird. Ugh.
So basically, if you feel like you've been tested a lot lately, it's because it's your final exam. Get it right, or you're gonna be suffering the consequences of that.
But one thing I have noticed though, and I think we've talked about this before, like the tests, it's like if you fail one, it gets thrown back in your face.
Oh yeah,
and it's like there's no time in between. It's like, bitch, wrong, try again.
Yep. Which is good though, because you have time to correct your circles faster. It's like time's gotten tighter. Like if you think of karma, even in like the tarot deck, it's like the wheel of karma, or whatever, right? Yeah. So, or even I imagine it sometimes like a spindle, like it kind of like spirals in. When I first started working with karma, it was like slow tick 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 tick. Now it's like like tick 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 tick, and it's just spinning fast, which means your manifestations come in way faster, your consequences come in faster, you're passing your tests and failing your tests comes in faster. Yeah. So it's helpful, I think. Yeah, because you can course correct way quicker, but then sometimes you get overwhelmed.
It doesn't feel like it, and it feels like a million things are thrown at you, and you're like, I don't even care.
Yes.
That's kind of where I was at the other day. I was like, I don't even care anymore. I just don't care. I just want to quit. Come get me. You know, that's kind of, I was having a day though. Like I was having, oh my God.
Yesterday?
No, this was Monday.
Oh yeah.
I was in pain. I was just cryy. Like I was a hot mess. I was the hot mess express that day.
Like the hot mess express. Yeah. I love it.
I had to go to rehearsal and I had to leave after being there for 10 minutes. I just could not.
Fuck, this week has been a real shit show. But I honestly, like, I know we talked about the portal at the beginning and it closes today. Like, could this be the last day, please? I don't think so.
It feels like it's starting to get lighter.
Yes.
But I think that it's like we needed to get the feels out during that.
And you know what we were talking about today? So I'm going camping next week. It's really impromptu. Like it was really quick and I'm like, oh shit. But now I'm like, you know what? This might be good to like, I'll still probably have to work because it was impromptu. Like I'm booked. Like what am I supposed to do? But I'm like, ooh, I'll be grounding into nature. It'll be like a little break. And I'm like, yeah, I need that.
Good.
I think I need that. I was just complaining. I was like, I need like a month away. Not from even work, just like from the people in my life in this town.
I need a month away from this town. I feel that too.
It's like,
or a month in my house, locked away from everybody and everything else.
Yes.
That too. Actually, that probably more.
I need to like get away. I just
had a little getaway.
Yeah. I don't even know what to describe. I feel like this is my description of how things have been going in my life lately. I'm like, never been so clear on what I need to do and how I need to do it and who I am. But it's like putting together a puzzle piece and you just like, it's like a permanent puzzle. You're going to glue it into place, right? But the glue is still a little like wet, and nothing's like solid.
Everything's tacky.
Yeah. And then somebody who's like a trigger for you, or used to be a trigger for you, or still is obviously a trigger for you, comes into your life and like expects you to be the old version of yourself. And then it's like the puzzle starts to like pieces will fall off and then you're like, fuck. You have to go get them and put them back into place. It's like, I can't just let my glue sit because people won't get the fuck out of my face. And I'm like, what's that saying? You can't heal in the environment that made you sick. Mm-hmm. This is the environment that made me sick and I need to get out of it. And it's just like, I just want my glue to set. And then I could come back and be like, no. And it's like,
would you?
Well, let's just say I'm never coming back.
Well, running away doesn't help anything either.
Honestly, like we were talking about before the recording, it's like I have an Achilles heel and it's like my family. Like, what do you think it is? It's something about like I can't. I don't think I'm of value compared to what everyone else is or something.
No, like, I think I think it's simpler than that. I think you carry everyone's expectations. And it's just, I have to be this expectation.
And the reason that I can't not do it is I go in my head about like, and it's like, why do I even care? Like, I actually don't care when I actually think about the consequences. I'm like, I don't care about that. I can't stop doing it when I think about the hurt that someone else will feel when I don't live up to that expectation. But whose fucking fault? Whose problem is that? It ain't mine, or shouldn't be mine.
Well, I mean, sure, no one likes to hurt anyone. Well, I'm sure actually that's not true. Some people do like to hurt other people. But again, that's their lesson to learn. Why is it like, why do you feel like you have to be a martyr to save them from their own lesson?
I want to carry everyone's shit for them. This has been my greatest lesson over the past 2 years, and I'm still dropping shit out of the backpack. Like, there's a couple people that I can't shake, and I need to shake them.
Well, you don't need to shake them. You just need to shake their expectations.
This is
that's a you problem.
Yes, this is my coping mechanism. I'm either like, holding on to the expectations or becoming destructive and like running away and shutting it down in a nasty way. Why can't I just toe that calm line with these last few people?
Well, you can.
I know, but it's so hard for me.
But look at how far you've come already.
True. And I feel like I'm staring down the barrel of a gun, and you need to just know that you're like the Matrix person and you're just going to like bend backwards and nothing's going to happen. But I'm like, what if I can't? And I get stuck in that space, or like the jump program in the Matrix.
Totally. I think about that all the time. That stupid fucking jump program. I'm like, just do it.
Yeah.
Be like, I know Kung Fu moment instead.
Yes. Fuck, that movie's good.
Fuck, I love it.
Anyways.
If you guys haven't, rewatch The Matrix, like the first one. And just be like, holy.
Is this a documentary?
This is real life right here.
I've actually even seen a past life where I was plugged into a machine like that. And like I was like, I don't know if I was assisted death tube, or like if they just put my body on hold while I went somewhere else, or like what happened. Like, or not the bathtub, but where they're plugged into the machine. Yeah. I've actually seen a life like that, and I don't know what it was. I still don't know.
Weird.
I felt like it was preserving my body while I came into Earth lives.
Cool.
Yeah. That's what I felt. And I was like, maybe I'm dead. I don't know. It's weird.
It is weird, but I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there we go.
All the things we didn't want to say.
All the things we did not want to talk about. Here you go. And you're welcome. They probably just getting like, bitches, talk about something fun. You know, like, oh, you know what? Last week we talked about ghosts.
Which, by the way, we've got some more submissions. So episode number 2 is going to come soon.
Indeed. We will try and, within the next couple of months, pin it down. And so you guys, if you guys got ghost stories, fucking send them.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm so excited.
And check us out on Patreon, because as shit hits the fan, I'm sure we'll be doing a lot more on there to keep you guys prepped with the stuff we don't want to talk about on the podcast.
100%. And we still have to go ghost hunting.
Yes, ghost hunting.
Oh my God. So, okay, when we will find time to go ghost hunting, we will video our ghost hunting and we will put it on Patreon.
Fuck yes.
So,
yes.
Oh my God, this is going to be so fun.
Okay, we got to do that.
Oh, we can have like a little seance.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, yes, let's do it.
All right. Okay, you guys.
For real.
For reals. The messages are clear, unfortunately, to our detriment. Well, not to our detriment. Not to our detriment, just to our chagrin. But we will leave it here. We will try and hopefully, like, I'm not even going to say next week will be a lot, like, more of a light topic, because I don't want to say that, and then Spirit will be like, guess what?
Yeah, because we tried
just
that
kidding.
Today.
We did try. But anyway, you guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to join our giveaway. Share it all on the social medias, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And join us on Patreon. Get in for that little Zoom Q&A at the end of the month. And yeah, we'll talk to you very soon on the next episode.
Yes, bye-bye.
Bye.